Well, hello and welcome to the new coffee club with myself, Robert Grieve and Bill Leckie. We're at the Euros for Scotland and Germany, and now we're back in Glasgow, Bill, looking ahead to the new season, and we thought we'd keep this going. We've got a coffee, we've got cakes, and we're ready to go, Bill. We're a week away, I think, almost a week away from the start of the season. How are you feeling about it?
Well, it's funny because a week away from the start of the league season, it was really weird. I did my first competitive game a week back Saturday, Falkirk, Dundee United in the League Cup, and it was a new season starting the day before the old season finished, which is a bit of a melon twister, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's really it feels as if it's starting to build up. European football this week, you know, the quality of the friendlies is building up.
Yep.
It's all getting real.
A world away from Germany.
Oh, that's a repressed memory now, Robert.
We're just about over the disappointment of what happened to Steve Clarke and the boys, aren't we? It's almost take a wee while.
Well, I haven't watched any of it back.
Neither have I.
I couldn't watch any of it back. It was. It actually feels a little bit distant now.
Yeah.
Because I wrote this the other week. I think if you're Turkish or you're Albanian or you're Slovakian or Slovenian, one of the other sort of smaller countries in the tournament, you're going to come away saying, "Oh, I remember the night we did that and it was fantastic. It was all ended in tears, but my God, we gave it a right good go." We can't say that.
We didn't. Anyway, listen, it's gone. It's in the past. We'll be looking ahead to the Scotland games in September when they come back around. But as we say, it's domestic football. I'm going to Germany. I'm going back to Germany at the weekend for Rangers against Union Berlin, a friendly game. I was at the Murrayfield game on Saturday when they were beaten pretty convincingly, I thought, overall by Manchester United 2-0 it finished. How do you think things are gearing up for Rangers at the minute? Because it all doesn't seem well. No. There's guys going, not very many coming in of real quality, I don't think, yet. What do you think, Bill? Is it kind of things a little bit uncertain there at Rangers just now?
I think one of the problems Rangers have, I think things are very uncertain. I think one of the problems Rangers have is that they don't communicate very well.
Yeah.
And so, whether it's us in the media, or whether it's Rangers fans, or whether it's opposition fans, everybody makes their own conclusions about what's going on at Rangers, and it's not helpful to the club, I don't think. You know, for instance, from what I know from speaking to Rangers fans, there's been no communication yet about what's going to happen with where they're sitting at Hampden and how it's working.
Season tickets
and the agreement with the SFA and the SPFL to play at Hampden, you know, they've had to put out that it's only for a couple of games because they couldn't say it's till November, but it might well be November for all that anybody knows.
Yeah.
And that's just the off the pitch stuff. The on the pitch stuff, I think, is equally unclear as far as Philippe Clement is concerned.
Yeah, it looks like, I mean, I brought the story that James Bisgrove was leaving. Yeah. He was doing a bunk, going away, first chance he got.
Taking a new opportunity. Which is worth a fortune. Yeah.
And it's pretty much left the guys that are there to pick up the pieces and try and deal with it. Have you got any sympathy for the way it's panned out? Because, listen, you know what it's like, you build an extension, things can get put back. Have you got a degree of sympathy at all for materials going missing or not turning up in time? Or?
There are things in life that are out with our control and we just have to deal with. I think the things that Rangers don't control very well are the controllables, are what they tell people and how they tell people, and that's a thing they have to learn more about. Listen, if somebody lets you down on delivering concrete or steel or whatever it is, then it's their problem and you have to deal with that problem. I find it quite interesting that it seems to be now that Bisgrove very quietly seems to be getting blamed for things from some quarters, and whether that's the case or not, I couldn't tell you. I've not got a clue. I do feel a wee bit sorry for John Bennett at Rangers, who everything seems to be landing on his head, whether it's on the field or off the field. And I'm not entirely sure how equipped he is to cope with the pressure at the moment.
Philippe Clement spoke last week and I thought his comments were pretty marked. I mean, he spoke about how, he admitted they have to sell before they can buy, which I think we pretty much all knew anyway, but as it strikes me that he's got his hands tied pretty much right now. He's going to lose his captain. Connor Golson's going. Now, the Rangers fans should think that's no loss, but that's two big players in the dressing room. I think Todd Cantwell will be going as well as they try and free up some money, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's what Philippe Clement needs and wants, that he can free up some high earners, frankly, and that maybe gives them licence to go and get 2 or 3 players, quality players, because I don't think there's any doubt the Rangers really need some key players.
They do. And the other things from Clement's, from his style of football, I don't think, although Goldson and Tavernier are massive personalities, and Tavernier's been a massive presence. I mean, where Rangers would have been the last few years without Tavernier's goals is almost incalculable to work out. But they are in their 30s. As the season progressed, the pressure that he put on them to train harder than they needed to play matches on a Saturday. He wants them to be 110, 115% fit for matches. I don't think some of the older players were up to that. And I think he maybe wants younger, hungrier players in.
I don't think can you really look at the fitness of James Tavernier? He played every week. You know, it's like he was somebody who played even to a certain extent Goldson as well until he got injured.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is that Tavernier's an exception, and he's a freak of nature at times, isn't he? But there were other players in that Rangers squad who, about February time, when they lost that first game to Motherwell at home and it started to get a bit more difficult, was one or two who just started. It's a bit like I'm not saying this with Rangers players, but there was some stuff said about Manchester United players, how keen were they to be back on the pitch. And what I noticed with some Rangers players is when things started getting tougher, they were getting more injuries. Yeah. And things started to unravel a little bit.
One player I thought did well against Manchester United to a certain extent was Conor Barron. He's come in from Aberdeen. I thought he'd a little glimpse of going to the Euros with Scotland. I know Steve Clarke definitely looked at him and thought about him carefully. I think he'll be a player that could kick on for Rangers. It's a good move for him. He's a good
very
age.
Good move for him.
Good age, but a good move for Rangers as well. I think he's a player with real prospects, and I think he will be someone who's in the next one or two Scotland squads if he progresses.
The one thing I would say is, like the other players that Clermont's brought in so far, there's a lot of promise and a lot of potential there. I think Barron might be the best of the signings so far, but I do think they need guys that are ready to play now and ready to make a difference now to a team that needs to hit the ground running. And if you've got guys you're saying, well, give him 6 months to find his feet, I'm not sure they've got that time.
No, Rangers fans don't have the patience for that, no. And rightly so. They have to.
Sorry to interrupt. I think they've got to the first Old Firm game.
Yeah, but as you say, they have to hit the ground running. There's no point in getting to that game, you know what I mean, how many weeks into the season and they've fallen behind. Rangers have to start well, and I think there will be. I can understand Rangers fans if they are a little bit frustrated at how it's going. In fact, hugely frustrated how it's going, and a little bit worried about how the season could pan out in the early stages. Anyway, we'll see what happens with Rangers. I'm going to cover their game in Germany at the weekend, and we'll see how they look in that game. Celtic, they're in America. Gareth Law is over in the States for us covering Celtic's tour. They've got some big games, they've got some huge tests there. They've not done a huge amount of business either. Kasper Schmeichel being the one that's been brought in. I know Sensational come in, the other goalkeeper who I think he's one that they're trying to kind of bring in for maybe the next season or the season after. Schmeichel, good signing.
Brilliant. It's like having another Joe Hart. You know, a guy with that much experience, a real character. Has worked with Brendan Rodgers before. Rodgers was gushing about the relationship they had when they worked together at Leicester City. I think he's a fantastic signing.
Could you not, I'm not just maybe looking for criticism here, but Celtic could have cast their net far and wide for a goalkeeper. They've got money to burn, they've got a fortune here to spend. They go and get a goalkeeper that's a free agent. He's 37.
He's 37,
and he's worked with Brendan Rodgers. It seems a wee bit easy. Could they not? But then, as you say, they've brought in another goalkeeper as well.
It's just shame. Maybe they're saying that a year, 18 months down the line, the boy from Villas, that he's the future. By which time Schmeichel's 30, 38, 39, and it's time for him to become a coach or whatever he's going to do, or to hang up his boots. They could have gone and spent a lot of money on a goalkeeper, but I think if you can get Schmeichel to fill that hole for a year to 18 months, I think you want to watch. I think he is one of the great. I don't mean characters as in funny guy. He has character. You looked at the way he handled himself during the whole Leicester City thing when he had the tragedy with the helicopter crash, and he was the man that led for the front. I think he's a guy you want in the dressing room.
You're a bit of a character as well. You're not very funny either.
No, I'm not funny either.
Not funny at all. Matt O'Reilly's going to be going.
It started.
Matt O'Reilly's going to be going. A lot of clubs interested in him. He had a fantastic season last season for Celtic, and you can understand why he will be looking for his own personal development, for Celtic's cash reserves as well. It seems as if it's a no-brainer if Celtic can maybe use that money and bring in someone to replace him.
Yeah, but they've also got to get the right money. You know, if you're looking at 15, 16, 18.
Not enough?
I don't think so for Matt O'Reilly. I think they would, in today's market, if Matt O'Reilly was moving from a Championship club to a Premier League club in England, you'd be starting at 25. Now, I know that everybody thinks they can get, and with good reason, that you can get bargains in Scotland because of the financial situation up here. I would think Rangers, Celtic would be looking at for O'Reilly probably anyway 20.
Yeah. The thing about, as we say though, they've got so much money. What do we use it in this one, Bill? Because they're maybe saving for a rainy day, they're maybe looking at how things are over the other side of the city and wondering how much they need to spend to try and to kind of continue their success.
Yeah.
But if I'm a Celtic fan, and I know Celtic fans, a lot of them who are frustrated that they aren't going and spending significant money for the Champions League.
No,
Can you understand that argument?
Obviously the Champions League's a different animal this year, and you'll be playing some teams that are nearer your own level rather than maybe drawing a group like Celtic have had before, where you're up against real high quality teams. And Celtic in the past would have had to have spent 100, 150 million to get close to winning one of those groups. Maybe now they think they can get away with a little bit less, but in terms of domestic dominance, I think if Celtic went out and made 2 big signings, right, good striker, maybe a really good centre half, in domestic terms I think they could probably blow Rangers away. They're already ahead of them by a distance. They're winning all the trophies.
Is that enough though for Celtic to be
not.
just looking at domestic dominance?
No, it's not.
When Brendan Rodgers came in, the big sell was he's going to transform Celtic and turn them into a European force, or not so much a European force, but get them to the next level.
Yeah.
Are they showing signs they're able to do that from what they've done in the transfer market so far?
Not yet, no. I mean, the last couple of seasons they've been very kind of bitty in the transfer market. There's been players that have, can you look at guys like Abada have come and they've gone and they've been okay and they've done well for a while, then they've gone. They get good money for Jota, but they've done nothing that's really made you think, wow, that's the signing, that's the one that's going to push them on. I'm not even sure, like, if they get Adamida, a good signing, it's a player that they want to get. I'm not sure that's a game changer. If you are going to progress in the Champions League, they've got to be making a couple of marquee signings, and I'm not seeing signs of that so far. If they pull it off during the window, fair play to them.
Well, one of the things Brendan Rodgers did say, I think in January, after a kind of fairly reserved window, as you say, Adamida was brought in, and I think he did brilliantly well in the second part of the season, but he spoke about the board being braver.
Yes.
You know, and that's probably still the case, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Brendan left the first time after making the same kind of comments Philippe Clement's making now about, hey, if you want to support me, if you want to give me money, you don't want to sell my players, and he'll end up leaving under those terms. This time round, he has to say, this can't happen again. Yeah. I have to get what I need to get if you want me to succeed.
If not, terminado. That was the expression he used.
That's terminado.
Terminado. Anyway, forget about Rangers Celtic for now. The big news this week is St Mirren are back in Europe.
Yes.
And this man here is lucky enough to be on his way this afternoon.
Very soon.
We're doing this pronto to let you head off to Reykjavik.
Yeah.
How excited are you to be watching St Mirren back in Europe, Bill?
Amazing. 37 years. And during the 80s, St Mirren won Europe 4 times. 1980, 83, 85, 87, played the likes of St Etienne and Feyenoord and Sparta Prague and Mechelen, who went on to win the Winners' Cup when they beat us. And you think at that time when things are going well that it's always going to be that way. The last time we were in Europe, my son was 6 months old. He's 37 now, and he's going, Dad, I can't believe it's taken this long. And there you go, back in Europe now, going to play Valor in Iceland, and it's tough tie, but it's so exciting.
Yeah, I was 11 back then. I think it was your 50th birthday that year.
Just
wasn't
about,
it?
yeah, it was
50th,
great.
That was a big celebration in 1987, 88. Yeah. But have you got hopes that they can get at least to the next round?
I would
Valor,
like to.
A good decent side.
Valor, decent side. Gylfi Sigurdsson's our main man up front, 35-year-old, but still, from all accounts, is still playing exceptionally well. Valor want to keep the ball, though. They are a technical side. They want to pass, which is fine. It'll suit Sigurdsson very well. Stephen Robinson wants to press, and one of the good things is
not just press.
He wants to press 3 times.
Press.
Press and press. So one of the great things is you couldn't have, if the Albanians, if Skoda had got through last week against Valor, it would have been 38, 39 degrees in Albania.
That was nice.
Oh, it would have been nice to lie by the pool, not to press for 90 minutes. But it's going to be drizzly in Reykjavik. So it makes it a lot...
Stop.
Okay, I know. So it makes it a lot easier to play the game that someone want to play and get in Valor's spaces. And you know, there's players in that St Mirren team I'm so happy for, boys like Alex Gogic and Mark O'Hara, and a guy I'm really happy for. A player that some people watching this might not know too much about, but Toyosi Olasanya up front, when he came to St Mirren a couple of years ago, he couldn't get near the team. He wasn't up to it. He went to Arbroath on loan. He couldn't get a game for Arbroath, and he came back and something twigged with him last summer, and he's turned himself into a player that the team really can't do without. He's got pace, he's got power, he scores goals, he's a nuisance to defenders, and I'm so pleased to see a guy like that get a chance in European football. So my big thing for St Mirren, and we come on to talk about Kilmarnock, can you stay in the tie going into the second leg? It's different for Killie because they're at home first leg, but can St Mirren come back to a sold out stadium next week still in this tie? That's the first task.
Yeah, very much so, and we wish them well. I certainly do anyway, and I know you do as well. Bill, Killie, you've touched on them there. Circle Bruges, they're at home first. I think that's a real proper test for Derek McInnes and his lads, isn't it?
Cercle are a good side. They're spending decent money. They are a level above most of the Premiership in Scotland, and I think it'll be a mammoth effort for Killie to get through this tie. So first things first, get a big crowd in at Rugby Park, get Killie playing the way Killie like to play, try and keep it alive for going across to Belgium. Yeah, with Kenny McDonald's going over for us the second leg. He's covering the first leg this week. He's done some brilliant coverage in the paper and online this week. Bobby Williamson, one of his interviews. Hopefully it'll be an entertaining game. And the Killie fans don't want to go to the pictures after that, but hopefully, as I say, we wish Derek McInnes and the lads well there. Very much so. They deserve to be in Europe. Derek has done a brilliant job since he brought them back up. They've got players that deserve to be playing at European level because they don't get the recognition they deserve. Yeah. Well, we're going to be bringing this podcast to you every week between now and the end of the season. You can like, you can subscribe, do all the things on social media to stay in touch. We're excited about the season, Bill. We've got the coffee, we've got the cakes. I've got a little jammy Dodger, I believe it is. And I have a vegan gypsy cream.
Of course you have. Why have you gone vegan?
Because it's the only ones they had. They didn't have non-vegan ones.
Well, we're going to talk into these, and we'll be back next week. We're going to have a think about it. Want your predictions next week about what we expect from the season. We'll look a little bit more in depth about the first games of the campaign, domestically anyway, and we'll look forward to that. But in the meantime, good luck to the Scottish teams in Europe, and we'll catch you next week.